You're in a good mood wherever you are. Should be. It's Friday. After all, we got a lot of great football. I have a nifty little chart here I stole from the internet. Stole it. Of all of the games and the times, Tom, that seem like if you look at primetime games, we've got a lot in the way of interest here. It's a watchability chart. And I agree with it.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen that, right?
I've seen those before.
Yeah, I actually agree with the watchability chart here. I do. It's a good thing. I was like, okay, that's correct.
It's a good week to have a nooner. The
Yes.
3:30 window has the game of the weekend, but then 7:30 has 3 good games at minimum. Now, I'm sure you can make more of them interesting.
I will. I had SMU last night. That was nicely done. We're off to a good start on the weekend. Okay. I even mentioned that as we were partying. Oh, by the way, I got some player props for today. Some people wanted to know. I sent it off to a mutual friend of ours already. Back in the player prop game.
Okay.
Good to go today. There's
college. Well, that's always pro, right?
That's pro player props, yeah. I'm actually intrigued by the well, right from the top, if you'd like. Everybody take the over on Adam Thielen, 57 yards receiving. He's going over. He's gone over that by a mile in each of the last few weeks.
Yeah.
They throw him the ball a gazillion times.
It's like he's the tight end for a rookie quarterback.
It's crazy, right? He's reliable. And he's killer in the red zone. They're going to give him the ball.
He has slowed down in his latter years, so he's more like a tight end in terms of speed.
Well, I mean, when you look at – I just look at targets whenever I do the player props for yards. I want to see – I mean, there's no guarantees. He could get hurt in the first quarter. We get all that. But I'm looking at odds and increasing the chances. So I'm always looking at, well, how often do they throw to him? It's insane. He's targeted like 13 times a game. So when you have a rookie quarterback like you're saying, he needs to know, like, that guy's going to be where he says he's going to be.
19 is a reliable player.
That dude will be right there. I know he will be. So that's what you do. So there, right off the bat, I gave you on a Libations Friday a little player prop to start the day. Can we all gather around and celebrate the Philadelphia Phillies victory? I know we're all so excited that the Braves were once again eliminated. Historic, in fact, in the manner in which they were eliminated after the season that they had. It just seems unfathomable to have choked to that degree and looked that terrible. Unimaginable. The Braves had the best record in Major League Baseball. They had the most home runs ever by a National League team, with 5 players hitting 30-plus home runs. Their ace won 20 games and broke John Smoltz' record for strikeouts. And they did nothing. Nothing. Not a damn thing. Now, it was also a bad look for Atlanta, not just the numbers, but it was a brutal display. You had the whining from Arcia and others about the media reporting something that they absolutely should have reported. And then you have him yelling at fans during the game. Acuna refused to talk to the media after the game, feigning as if he didn't speak English. And then you had Atlanta fans back in Atlanta throw trash on the feet. You had all kinds of stuff, buddy. It's just not a good look.
Well, I think Atlanta, maybe, they've won a World Series recently. So, guys, don't freak out.
Yeah.
Don't freak out about this choke job. You've won a World Series in the last few years.
Yeah.
You've had you basically own the East since the East has been in existence. Maybe 30 years. You've won 25 division titles. It's ridiculous. So you're adorned. But I don't know that Freddie Freeman would let the Braves win this way. You got to learn how to win the right way. Atlanta, there's a lot of things the dancing and the celebrating and the extracurriculars. I don't know. You guys are a little too showboaty for me. Maybe you can learn to win the right way, the way that you did when Freddie Freeman was your first baseman.
Braves, Matt Olson hit 250 with no RBIs, no home runs. He was the gem of the bunch. Marcell Ozuna hit 154, no home runs, no RBIs. Ronald Acuna hit a $143, no RBIs, no home runs. Michael Harris hit 0 with 0 and 0. So Michael Harris did as much in that series as I did, at least offensively. Orlando Arcia, the aforementioned, hit 154 with no RBIs, no home runs, and, of course, the comments. It is interesting. It is also cruel. Baseball is that sport. And while I have fun at the Braves' expense, I will point out that nobody with more than 90 wins is still alive in the playoffs. Nobody.
Yeah. Satire aside, it's a ludicrous sport. Anytime you win, as I say, a World Series, you should weep. It's so hard.
You should, because you can be far and away the best team in baseball. You could be historically great, and it doesn't matter at all.
And look, I was pulling for the Phillies for Director Matthew, but it's like when 2 of your arch rivals in your division go head-to-head. Like if it was
a tough one for you,
NFC Championship and it was the Falcons and the Saints, am I really rooting for anything? Not really. So I'm happy for Director Matthew. I said, job well done. Because they were getting too big for their britches. But now go Diamondbacks. Let's Tommy Pham and the crew. Let's go Arizona.
104 win Braves, 101 win Orioles, 100 win Dodgers, all out with a combined 1 win between the 3 of them.
It's incredible.
1 win.
It's baseball.
This is even a little bit much for baseball. I mean, it is just baseball, but that's even a little much for baseball. That none of the 100-win teams and nobody that won more than 90 is around at all. Hey, just kind of slapping your way through the regular season, everybody. Just go ahead and get you an 82-80 record and find a way in. You're gonna be all right. God forbid you do something historic. I will give one Brave credit though. Strider was a man and faced the media afterwards and answered honestly and openly, and I thought it was outstanding. And I will give credit where credit's due. While
everybody but Acuna did. Now, even RC, everybody but Acuna spoke to the media last night.
So
he just jet.
Yeah. So Strider said this about why they were so futile. Quote, "It's hard to explain, and I know fans would like an answer. I'd love to give them one. Ultimately, I think we got to accept that whatever we did, whatever it is we're doing, it's just not enough. If we truly want to win a World Series, if that's our goal, then we're going to have to change something or add something in the way we prepare and the way that we focus. What we do in the regular season works fine, but we're going to have to make an adjustment to the postseason approach. That's tough to say. It's a daunting thing to confront right now, but that's something I'm going to have to get to work on, and we're going to have to get to work on as an organization the moment we leave here." And I disagree with him. Yeah. I don't think they should change anything. You don't accidentally win 104 games out of 162 played. It is an amazing accomplishment, but that sport is a brutal sport to invest emotionally in. I have watched, and we all have done this, a ton of great baseball teams, far and away the best team, over 162 games, lose in the opening round of the playoffs. We've seen it. It's gone on for years. And by the way, I used to make this argument to people all the time when they would kill Martin and they would kill Florida State for not winning a college national championship. It's a truncated postseason. Baseball is meant to be played 4 out of 7 bare minimum. Certainly not a one-game one-off and you're in a loser's bracket where you got to climb out with your third reliever just to have a shot.
Well,
okay.
And also with consecutive days, you get so many breaks that if you're less deep as a top end of your rotation, so, nobody's going to claim that the Phillies from 10 years ago, this is the example I used. The Giants win their first World Series. You got Halladay, Oswalt, and their third guy was really good too. But when you space out those games and you can get Lincecum and Kane for the Giants
back again,
twice,
circle back around.
That's where the weakness is, or the disparity is mitigated.
And I've said it before that, yes, you can look, and it's always sounds like sour grapes. If you say about somebody else's team, and you mean it, just assessing it. So, let's say the Mets won 106 games this year, and during the season, I happened to notice, all right, that they are really built for regular season success.
Yeah.
But there are factors that are not going to come into play in the postseason that aid them currently in the regular season. And if I say to you in that moment,
like having your 4 and 5 be really good 4 and 5, so you're stealing wins on the back end.
You're stealing wins on the back end of
and
series on roadies and I say to you one day as we come in here, Tom, listen, I know this is going to sound petty, but I actually don't think you're that good. I don't think you're built for the postseason. I think you're going to have a real problem because your ace is not even close to the ace of the Braves, the Phillies, the such and such. And that's who you're going to face in game 1. And in game 2, you're going to face this guy. And your number 2 sucks. He's good enough to beat somebody else's average-ass number 2 across the league, but not an elite team. So when that happens, if you say that to somebody, they're going to go, this guy's an ass. What's he talking about? We're setting records. We're going to win 106 games, 104 games in the case of the Braves. But that you can notice those things, and it can be something that you diagnose during a season.
Well, and for a Mets fan, you wouldn't have to worry about that because we're as skeptical as they come. We see our flaws better than most. But you're correct that Strider's assessment sounds good, but is incorrect. It's a slot machine. Baseball is one grand slot machine that happens all the time. And when you go 2 break a day, 1 break, or 2 with 2 one-day breaks for travel in between, if you have a deeper roster, top to bottom, that gets mitigated completely by the breaks.
Well, and it does hurt your feelings that in a very small sample size, you had Olsen, Ozuna, Acuna, and Harris combined for a grand total of 0 RBIs.
Now, that shouldn't happen.
That is catastrophically bad. That's gripping. That's choking. That's a toughie. We go 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 for those guys. Olsen, Ozuna, Acuna, Harris, Arcia, nobody? Not one of those guys? RBI single, anything?
Acuna hit the hell out of that ball last night in the 7th, but, wrong park, wrong place.
So it's a toughie. It's a toughie. But that is, again, and I for years would talk about how nervous I was with postseason baseball, not just in the pros, but with FSU, because truncated series, man, in baseball where a pitcher controls everything. I don't care if you've got 7 guys that hit over 300 and hit 30 home runs in the regular season. My man, it takes one ace to paint, and they're all rendered obsolete because great pitching is going to win.
Well, and Ranger Suarez comes up big in those moments.
Well,
like entering last night, his ERA was sub-1
Yeah.
in a string of postseason starts leading into that game. So basically, if you're an Atlanta fan last night, it's if we win this, we're going to win. We're going to go home. We're going to take this series, but it has to be tonight. You knew it was going to be a lower scoring game, and the Phillies just hit a couple more home runs, which has been the Braves' MO.
KC 19, Denver 8. That Thursday night game should be eliminated from the schedule. It's awful. I can't watch it anymore. These games always suck. It's putrid. Thursday night, by the way, the Thursday night broadcast team is terrible.
Al Michaels doesn't want to be there.
You can tell he's curmudgeon. He's old and tired. He doesn't want to be there. The pregame and postgame shows the worst I've ever seen for any broadcast anywhere. Gonzalez, it's like Gonzalez never played football, let alone went to the Hall of Fame. He has no idea what he's talking about. Every time he speaks, I'm like, this guy's an idiot. So it's brutal.
He took a lot of hits. Took a lot of hits in his career. But have you ever seen somebody get paid 8 figures? Because I believe that's what Al Michaels is commanding per season and not want to do their job.
Yeah.
He's petulant all the time. And that started towards the end of his NBC career.
Yeah, it's something. It's something to watch. But that game is awful. And, I thought for a moment, one of our mutually favorite sites that we like is Scorigami. It was not a Scorigami. 19-8 happened as recently as 1927. So there you go. It was no Scorigami. It happened one time, October 12th, 1927. How about that?
What?
To the day.
To the day?
To the day.
I just got the chills.
That'll make you freak out a little bit. And then you'll think, it's random. Okay, coincidence. But nonetheless, how about that?
No, that's not. Baseball is, but that's not.
We'll have Lee Sterling on the show today. Of course we will. His games, he wants to discuss Notre Dame, USC, UNC, Miami, Florida State, Syracuse, Detroit, and Tampa Bay in the NFL, of course, Jacksonville and Indianapolis. His free play of the day will be that Louisville pit line.
I knew that was going to be
sucker
somewhere.
bet, right?
Yeah. Now, I wonder if he's going to tease a 40-unit play and then that's the actual game. Because sometimes he's bold and he'll put the game that he feels great about on the phone call segment, but he won't tell you that it is.
Yeah.
And he'll say, by the way, we talked about UCF Pitt. That's my 45-unit play.
What'd you pick in the score prediction? I know you had to send it in to Aslan.
So,
what did I say, 41-17?
I mean, we're usually pretty close. I said 45-17, but I think that's more about Syracuse and the spot that this game occurs than it is about some of the mechanics.
Third tough game in a row for them.
And that their offense may not move the ball, and if they don't, there's a kind of a white flag element to the game. But if that doesn't happen and they come to play in a vacuum, they present some challenges for us, and that score prediction is going to be wrong. But I'm banking on they're tired. And if they are and they're emotionally exhausted, then we can rack up some big numbers.
You guys are all, like you and Ira and a couple, I've heard some sort of hedging a little bit. Like you're nervous about this game in a weird way. I just don't see it. What do you see? I don't see it from Syracuse. When I watch them, I think this team's terrible.
Well, it's a team that held Will Shipley to under 4 yards a carry and racked up 13 TFLs in that game.
Yeah.
They should be tired. They were on the field for a ton of plays.
Yeah.
And then they had to play North Carolina and got smoked by May. But May makes a lot of good throws to open that game up and put it into quit territory.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, how do you get to quit territory? It's more about our defense getting stops than I think it is about
our
offensive
It's another
success.
quick start on defense like you had last week where you dominate. Next thing you know, you look up, it's 22-0 in the first quarter. That game is over.
They have the tools to win on first and second down a lot. And then their third down defensive structure is good because all they do is they keep their eyes on the quarterback. And if you're too greedy, you're playing right into their hands.
Yeah.
So if we're not successful on first and second down, I could see there being a few punts, and now we're starting to get antsy, and it's the same old song.
Yeah, you get a little nervous.
That's the path.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I can always try to create a path where the other team has a chance to be in the game because we're not a dominant team. We're a good team, but we're not a dominant team. So, yeah, I could see it, but I really think if Florida State plays very well and is aggressive defensively, if you basically eliminate the run game, which we're good at doing, they're dead.
Yeah.
Because that's not a passer. He's not that guy.
Correct.
And they don't have elite weapons at wide receiver.
Correct. No, it's all about the defense paving the way. And then on offense, you've got to have a plan, and it has to be more coordinated than, jump ball city and then trying to bang your head against the wall with the ground game on first and second down. And Jordan's got to be willing, like he was last year in the Dome, to take those underneath throws. Now, there were a ton of plays where there is no deep shot. There's no outlet. There's none of that. There's all underneath route concepts. You got slants to the one side, quick little hitches on the other. I want to see if that's how we draw it up for this particular game. If it is, then I think we'll be okay. But you have to show up. You have to show up tomorrow. This is not roll it out there and we're going to destroy them. It's not that Syracuse game from, say, 10 years ago where I think we won 59-3 and the game was over at kickoff.
That was a fun game. That's a fun game. By the way, what's the kickoff time for Oregon, Washington?
3:30.
Okay. Got to make sure we get out of the stadium by then, guys. Make sure this thing's wrapped up. I don't need to be sitting there on the edge of my seat watching a close game and the waning moments because we could be home watching Oregon, Washington, which should be an awesome game. Very excited to watch that game. I haven't said that in a long time.
Me too.
About Oregon,
By
Washington.
the time the post-game show's over, it's the second half of that game. So I'll get to see the formative moments and then right into that sweet primetime window.
There you go.
A solid day, man.
Good times. Going to be a good time. By the way, today, later on, as we're as I say, want to do, we'll have the interactive get-together there, the hangout happy hour at Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. It begins at 5 o'clock. And then I'm off to watch a little high school football.
Who they got tonight?
Leon Childs tonight.
Childs, okay.
Yeah. They did an old school thing at Leon when I dropped Bryce off this morning. I saw they had like a banner like on a sheet hanging out of the brick building that beat Childs. It was pretty cool. I liked it. I'll show it to you during the break.
Now, is this a get-right game after last week?
No, I don't.
Or is Childs good?
I don't know. I haven't checked on Childs. See, this is where I've gone in my football viewing of high school. You know, for years.
So you didn't bet first half team total under?
You know, I didn't watch high school football at all. I was done with it, right? And then now my kid plays, so of course now I have to pay attention to it, and I want to pay attention to it and cheer him on and support him and all that. And but that doesn't mean I have to pay attention to anybody else. So I don't pay attention to what anybody else is doing in high school.
That's a fun way to watch the games.
I just go, I have no idea.
I don't know what I'm going to see tonight.
Could be a great game. We could get blown out. I have no idea because that's a high school team we're playing, and I've never seen them. I'm not watching them. I don't care. I only watch my team.
I refuse to question.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and
Hey guys, our next partner is AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it quite literally every single day. I began using AG1 because I'll be honest with you, I don't like to take a bunch of pills and vitamins, and I just wanted something that tastes great, was quick, and easy to remember. So I do it. I do it every morning when I wake up. I certainly have it right after my coffee and before I work out. And I will tell you this, too. It is a simple, effective investment for your health. You can try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/JCS. Again, that's all you got to do is go to drinkag1.com/JCS. That's drinkag1.com/JCS. Check it out. It's delicious. It's quick. It's easy. It's proven. Vitamins, probiotics, whole food source nutrients. Start your day with it. You'll feel better. I promise.
Providing the highest level of orthopedic care in the region. With 12 centers of excellence and TOC Now urgent care clinics, our patients access affordable expert care fast. TOC, only experts. Schedule an appointment at teamtoc.com.
Someone who thought texting was a better idea than stopping for a traffic light slams into your rear bumper. Now your back is injured and you've got to be at work and rehab all without a car. I'm Jimmy Fasig at Fasig Brooks. We hear stories like this every day. You shouldn't pay for someone else's mistake. Call us at 850-777-7777 and we'll make sure you come back stronger.
This is Jamie McClenney of Trek Financial, co-host of Cover Your Assets here on Real Talk 93.3. Since 3 of the largest bank failures in U.S. history last March, the S&P 500 is up over 10% as D.C. politicians added an additional $1.5 trillion in spending after raising the debt ceiling. This rally has been extremely narrow as a handful of mega-cap stocks are responsible for over 70% of the gain on the S&P 500 year-to-date. The yield on the 10-year Treasury has been below the 3-month rate for over 200 trading days, the longest streak in 6 decades. As one economist quipped, ignore these signals at your own risk. Managing downside risk is one of the biggest challenges that you will face in retirement, but a clearly defined risk management protocol can help to mitigate large drawdowns in your retirement nest egg. If you're concerned about where all of this might be headed, give me a call at 850-900-5200 and schedule an office visit to discover the risk in your current portfolio.
Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
At Epps Decorating Center, we're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore, available at Epps Decorating Center with 2 locations in Tallahassee. Find a store near you and visit EppsDecorating.com. That's EppsDecorating.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
I heard somebody say this. I don't know where. Maybe it was last night or early this morning when I was listening to Sports Talk. And they said basically whoever it was that decided amongst the Phillies fan base to do a standing ovation for Trea Turner when he was in the midst of the worst slump he's ever had should get a ring. Whoever that guy is, bravo, sir, because he completely flipped it on its head, and that dude you can't get him out. It's unbelievable. But I went back and looked at something because I knew Poznansky had written something about it, so I found it. And I'll read quickly. Trea Turner was a full-blown disaster for the first 4 months of the season. It wasn't a slump. It was like he had forgotten how to play baseball. On August the 2nd, in a game against the Marlins, Turner went 0 for 5, hit into a double play, and in the 11th win, the Phillies had an out away from victory. They were an out away from victory. He let Josh Bell's ground ball right through him and scored the game-tying run. The Marlins won in the next inning. Turner was despondent. After the game, even though the time was approaching midnight, he went into the batting cage to try and find himself. Quote, obviously, I'm the reason that we're losing these games. The Phillies agreed. They were running out of ideas. Manager Rob Thompson rested him on the consecutive days, hoping that might break the deal, clear his head. Thompson then dropped him down to 7th in the lineup in the hope that that too would help. Nothing was helping. Turner, who won the batting title in 2021, a lifetime 300 hitter coming into the year, was hitting .231, on-base percentage below 300 at that time. It was below rock bottom.
For a player that fast
and that good, right?
That's unbelievable.
Well, obviously, the rest of the story is that you marry all of this. Philadelphia's fans have a reputation. It's a vicious reputation that they're the worst sports fans or the cruelest sports fans to their own in America. Obviously, the fame throwing snowballs at Santa Claus. They never seem to warm to Mike Schmidt, even though he was the best third baseman of a generation. You know, this is portrayed frequently, even in, like, say, Silver Linings Playbook, where they get into a fight in the parking lot. And yet, it was that group that, for whatever reason, said, screw it. Let's be nice. Standing O. And he today talks about how much he loves Philadelphia and never wants to leave.
It's hard for a big money free agent to feel like an organic product of a fan base and have that organic connection with a fan base. And yet, in this instance with Trea Turner, a huge free agent, it occurred.
It's
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
It is a novel idea too, right? Like, can you imagine collectively, like some guys like, hey, listen, we got to do this. We got to find a way. We've got to find a way to get this thing turned around because we spent a lot of money on this dude, and the booing ain't working. The booing is a problem. So when he steps to the plate this afternoon, standing O, a full minute, get after it. Just cheer him like he's hitting 400.
Side note, Lee Sterling is, I got the busy signal, so I don't know if he's on in Reno or if he's on in Topeka, but he's going long with whatever the previous interview is. So I will secure him shortly.
I love the idea of that again. Yo, guys, can you do me a favor? If you're going to a Phillies game this weekend, let's not boo Trea Turner. Let's give him a standing ovation every time he comes to the plate. It's in his head. It's time to give real love, not tough love. Let's get this guy turned around. Well, the numbers since then are absurd, obviously. From August 4th to the end of the year, Turner slashed 337, 389, 669 with 16 home runs, 9 steals in 48 games. In the 6 postseason games this year, you've seen 12 of 24, 4 stolen bases, and 2 bombs. Have yourself a night. Have yourself a week. Have yourself a postseason. Have yourself a incredible final stretch of the season to turn it all around. And now you almost can't see a time where he would revert back to the struggle. It is rare you see that in sports. It is, I wonder how many fan bases now, New York, Chicago, Boston, will do that. You got him? We good?
Not yet.
No chance.
A little strange. This one's a new one. You get a busy signal once or twice a year because he has the row of interviews that he's doing.
Yeah.
But pick up of the handset and hang up of the handset twice with no hello.
He's been pulled over by a police officer. He does not have time to give pics. I have no idea what's going on with Lee, but he desperately does not want to pick up that phone at this point. Worst case scenario, we'll take another respite if we have to, and we'll come back around. I do know this. Again, the games he wants to look at are all intriguing. This is part of that card. You know, we talk about Park Your Ass Saturdays, and I saw where, that has become now the thing, and a bunch of people sent it to me this week. Just at that slate alone, Park Your Ass Saturday, Park Your Ass Saturday, here we go. It's one of the best of the year. We've had 2 of the best of the year conversations twice in the last 3 weeks. Glorious time. Postseason baseball, NHL hockey underway, NBA is getting underway, NFL, college football. This is heaven.
And it's college football with parity. That's the thing. There are some years where the top 4, they're just going to skate every week, and you're like, all right.
That's not the case
anymore. Let's watch the best of the rest. But in this case, every week there's an upset.
Lee Sterling, how the hell are you, brother? You there? There he is.
Barely alive.
I was wondering if you were going to be able to do today's show. Would the appearance happen, or would he shun it after watching something that I've never seen before?
I've never seen it before either. I mean, it was, there's not one word to describe it. Here's the worst part of it. I don't think he realized till he got to the locker room what he had done or not done.
There's been a lot of speculation about all of this, Lee. I right away, I went and looked at some numbers because I wanted to see, was there something afoot here? Was there something that, and I'm not talking about a conspiracy. I'm saying, like, what would be the motivation? So then I thought, well, they're trying to get that kid 100 yards.
He said no.
He said no, but I think he was. He knows it's not
maybe.
It's, he knows it's not a worthy excuse, but there isn't.
But how about Jeff? How about no one on the staff?
Well,
said anything?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, right? We don't know. I mean, I don't know how that happens. I've asked people on football staffs. I asked about this week. I called friends who coach in college football and said,
"What did they say?"
Well, they said ordinarily that an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, or somebody that is if your label was assistant head coach, like those are the kinds of guys that can speak up in that moment to get the head coach's ear. And I said, no, man, I'm telling you now, if you have a headset, I don't care if you're a janitor and you happen to have a headset, you've got to say, Mario, what are we doing? We don't have to do this. The game is over.
Right.
And they all were dumbfounded. They couldn't understand how it could happen. And, again, it's the kind of thing, Lee, honestly, you could lose your team. He could lose his team.
We've never seen anything. Now, last night, for instance, there's they throw a last second pass, last play of the game.
Yeah, the Houston game, yeah.
So you can lose a team that way, but this is worse. I mean, here's the problem. If they lose this game,
it's off the rails.
I think the season's over. I think the kids, it's not going to be as bad as last year. I mean, last year,
obviously,
they couldn't compete. I mean, they had no talent. It was nothing. But I don't know how you get the team back if you lose this week.
So I did this for the listeners on that Monday, just for the people that didn't see it. But again, for people who don't remember, and this is why you could lose the team. Miami ball, Georgia Tech territory, 20-17, 30 seconds to play. Tech doesn't have timeouts. That's it. That's all. There's not even the dumbest football fan knows what to do there. How does a guy making what he makes with the deal that he has not get that right? Like, will Miami fans ever forgive him?
If he wins a national title. I have seen it actually happen in like youth league Pop Warner football.
Sure, yeah.
I have seen it, but not anywhere close to this level. So if I was the coach, here's what I would have done. You tell me. After I finally realized what kind of monumental mistake that I made, I would have said to my team, I let you down. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not only going to donate my salary for the game or for the month, I'm going to be there this week. You know, when a kid doesn't show up for class or is late to practice,
he's going to run with him
5 in the morning. Yeah, I'm spending the whole week. That's what I'm going to do to show you how bad I feel about letting you guys down. And I doubt he did that.
I doubt he did it too. And Lee, the worst part about it for me, though, and we'll move on here and get your picks, but the worst part about it for me, though, was that first 30 seconds when he wandered in there to the press room and stood behind that dais and somehow noted that we teach two hands on the ball. Don't you do that, Mario Cristobal. Don't you put that back on that kid. That's awful.
Absolutely not.
That kid should have transferred. He should transfer. There's no chance I play for that guy ever again. He's going to roll me under the bus after his dumbassery? That's crazy.
Horrible. I agree 100%.
Notre Dame -2.5 against USC, good sir.
I think that Notre Dame's played out. I think USC should be favored. Now, I'm not saying USC's great, but they have a top 5 offense. Here's a stat that will shock you. They're number 8 in the country in sacks is the USC defense. So they do create some havoc. Sam Hartman was sacked 5 times last week at Louisville. Their offense, 21 and 20 points the last 2 weeks here. Unless USC just totally barfs the ball and hands it to Notre Dame, I think they're the right side. USC 37-30.
Interestingly, I heard a lot of people. That's you're right in line with a lot of people that said, "Man, I'm surprised by this line." Sounds like you are as well. North Carolina, the aforementioned Miami game. North Carolina favored 3.5, depending on the book you get. I like North Carolina here, Lee. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm also betting on last week's situation not being a galvanizing moment. It could be, I guess.
So I could be wrong, but I think the time to bet against Miami might be next week. Here's my thinking. If this happened at the end of the season, like when Miami lost to Ohio State in the national championship, they never recovered. End of the season, ended their dynasty. But they have 7 weeks from then to get back on the field. That's the best thing these kids can have happen. I think they're actually going to rally. I don't think North Carolina's that good. North Carolina hasn't faced anyone. This will be the best offense, defense, and special teams they face here. I think the time to fade Miami might be next week, whether they win or lose. I like Miami 34-30. I think they're going to shock the world tonight.
Well, the following week you got Clemson, so I agree with you. I'd be picking Clemson there. What will be weird is, now I will say this, Lee, and we both know how this works. We've seen this with Miami. If they get housed in this game, you can mark it down. The train's off the tracks. That's going to
no question. It will be. And let me add this also. I went to the Dolphin game. Did not go to the UM game. Went to the Dolphin game the next day. Packed. Giants fans. It was like it was a Super Bowl. It was like watching the Phillies. There wasn't an open seat in the stadium that I could see. It was dead. It was dead. It was the quietest 65,000 I've ever seen in an NFL game in my life. It was like going to church.
There was bereavement. They were grieving as they were watching.
They were still in shock the next day.
All right, so you're going to take Miami plus the 3.5 is what you're telling me, right?
Absolutely. And let me add this also. What do you think if Miami wins that game, even though they had 5 turnovers, and they win the game. What do you think the line would have been against North Carolina?
Pick 'em.
That's what I say. So you're getting 3.5 to 4 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you are.
I think maybe the best play is, I haven't bet it yet. I might just go live betting. And if Miami comes down and scores, or I see that they're flying around
Yes.
defense,
Yes.
and then bet them then.
It is a live bet. You are 100% correct. I told that to my friends. I said, because I had somebody ask me how you betting it. I said, man, this is a game about their psychology. This is their head. Do they care to be there, or did he just lose the team? We won't know until they kick it off.
Right. And let's say North Carolina scores. This might be a case. You remember the Bears did it? Not this Thursday, the Thursday before.
Oh, against Washington.
They won the coin toss. I thought that was great. I thought that was masterful. They decided to receive the ball.
Yeah.
Went down and scored. If I'm Miami, if I'm Mario, let's see if they win the toss. If he wins the toss and defers, he's a moron.
Well, I think we've already clearly.
Right. Yeah, but he's a double moron. So if I'm the head coach, do you agree? If you win the toss?
Yeah,
you want the ball?
I'm doing whatever I can to inject life into my team, and if you think that's one of those things, then fine. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to do anything, and I agree with your fall on the sword thing and be there running and apologize. He should have done that right away. He just doesn't strike me as the kind of guy to do it. So
He probably won't. But if I'm the coach, if they win the toss, I think they should accept the ball, try to score. If North Carolina scores and Miami gets stopped, I might be betting the whole game long North Carolina over and over and over again for the max.
Florida State minus 17.5 against Syracuse. I love it. I'm going to call you if that happens, by the way. Your thoughts on the 17.5? Florida State, again, another home game, another chance to get healthy again. And what do you like here?
Here's what's crazy. So I've gone 8-4 since last Thursday. My 3 losses were last night, West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough loss, by the way.
I lost Missouri, the pick 6, and lost Florida State up 22-0 after the first 3 drives and relaxed. I think there's a lesson here, and I think their head coach Mike Norvell is going to impress upon these kids that once you get up, you got to close the door. This Syracuse offense, they've gone from 158 to 100 to 92 rushing yards in 3 weeks. They lost their best tight end, Gadsden, Rhonda Gadsden.
He's a stud, yeah.
Very good. Lost him before the year. Lost their second best receiver a couple weeks ago. They only scored 7 points on North Carolina's D, which I don't think is very good. I think the lesson is going to be learned. Florida State, 45-21.
Big win, Florida State rolling on, staying in that playoff talk. Next game I love because it's a creamsicle game for my boys down in Tampa. Should be fun to watch. This is an old NFC Central, right? Remember these days? Back in the way back when, Detroit and Tampa Bay. Detroit's a really good football team. They go on the road. They lay the 3. Who you got?
Do they have someone? Is Leroy Selman or someone going to go?
Well, it'd be tough because Leroy's dead.
Oh, that's right.
That would be a toughie. I don't think they're going to wheel him out there.
Are they going to have like a Mike Alstott?
I hope so, buddy. I hope so. They've got probably several of those guys that wore the creamsicle they should bring back. You're absolutely right.
Here's the thing about Tampa Bay. At least 2 takeaways in every single game. That's one thing. I think their defense is going to get a couple takeaways. Goff is not the same quarterback on the road consistently. He's had a few games here and there. He had it at Kansas City. But Detroit might be without their best offensive lineman. Their tight end, Laporta, he came all of a sudden with a calf injury, and he may not play. Same with Gibbs, the running back, and also Brown, the receiver. All 4 game-time decision. I think 3 of the 4 are not going to play. I like Tampa Bay, 17-16.
You're damn right you do. Jacksonville -4 against Indianapolis, and I don't even know what to do with this game. I'd like to bet on Jacksonville. It seems like every time I look up when Jacksonville's playing Indianapolis, I'm kind of like, why is this close? What do you got?
I'm going to tell you what to do. You play Indianapolis. First rematch of the season. Interdivision. Jags beat the Colts 31-21. Might have a little bit of jet lag here. I like Gardner Minshew with his team right now where they are. I like Zach Moss. I mean, guys come from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
He was a backup in Buffalo. Now you got Jonathan Taylor to throw in with some fresh legs. And Trevor Lawrence just doesn't look like the same quarterback. 3 touchdown passes the last 4 games. And Calvin Ridley is leading the NFL in drop passes.
Ouch.
26-20. Wrong team favored.
Free play of the week looks like a sucker bet for everybody out there. Louisville minus 7.5 against Pitt is the game we're talking about. How can folks get it?
Just call 800-400-9741. First 10 callers get it for free. 800-400-9741. I don't like this Louisville Pitt game. I love it. And our first 40 to 50 unit play here goes in college football. I'm going to text it to you right now.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I think I found like 4 or 5 things that favor one team. So you want to get this game. We're 62-20. That's historically on these 40 to 50 unit releases, and just 247. We don't call it October.
Thank you.
We call it Locktober. 247, 3 weeks, just one place, ParamountSports.com.
And to let you guys know he's a man of his word, I just got the text from Lee. Just got it right here in my hot little hands.
Don't flash it on the video
I didn't
screen.
flash it on the video screen.
The game kicks off, Jeff.
Yeah.
Tweet it out.
Yep.
Full disclosure. You play all my games. You know what games I get my clients. We're also 47, 22-2 this year, even with all 3 of those bad beats last week.
Be good, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. See you, Jeff.
Yep. Take care. Here's a stat for you. I believe there have been 12 teams that did not have a bye coming back from London, having played their games in London, in the history of that London series, over there. All 12 teams that did not have a bye the following Sunday were either tied or trailing in the fourth quarter of their next game.
So
that's useful.
Their cover rate is not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. They're tired. There's just no way around it.
What do you know? Flying in
Imagine
jet
that.
lag
Flying
from
across.
London
Yeah.
affects your body.
It's a toughie. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
News now.
More than 1 million people across the country lost Medicaid coverage so far this year, and about a quarter of those people live in Florida. The state told a Senate committee Wednesday that cause of those drops are due to unwinding coverage after federal COVID-19 rules ended in April. The number of people on Medicaid skyrocketed during the pandemic as more people lost their jobs during shutdowns. The federal government also prevented states from taking people off that coverage until this past April. Since then, Florida dropped 250,000 people from coverage. About half of those are children. DCF is asking the legislature for an extra $10 million to make some changes so children under complex medical care do not fall through the red tape. Senators said they want to see every child have some type of health coverage. Florida is one of 10 states that has not expanded Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Highs level off around 77 this afternoon under overcast skies, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy tonight, lows around 64. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. Highs level off around 84. Temperatures a bit below average Sunday and Monday with highs from the upper 60s to the mid 70s. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 69.
Here's a tip to keep it cool from E&B Heating and Air. Your outdoor unit works better if it's clean and clear of debris. Plants, grass, weeds, and trees can reduce performance, raising your power bill. Visit ENBHeatAndAir.com to get a free quote today.
Your next chance to splash into some cash with Swain Pools and Spas to win $1,000 is coming up at 2 p.m. Listen out for the keyword, and all you got to do is text the keyword for a chance to win $1,000.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The panko lechon, Jeff.
Is that what is the pork?
The panko lechon, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
From a mentality standpoint, from like, what is Miami's mentality in this game on Saturday against North Carolina? It is hard to bet on them showing up, being present, fighting like hell, because their MO, and I know it's under different coaches, different eras, different players, different teams, but some things feel like they permeate a program, and until Miami shows me otherwise, it's just hard to bet on them to show up after facing adversity. They rarely do.
I agree.
It seems like the first chance they get to mail it in or pack it in, they do.
The coastal is gone, but this feels like a very coastal moment in which a big win and a big loss are turned on upside down, and you have just this mess between that half of the ACC. I get it's gone, but that's what history would suggest happens here for both North Carolina and Miami. Here's a big spot for North Carolina to capitalize, and they lay an egg. Here's a big spot for a coastal team that's down to stay down, and they come back up. It's just, that's the danger here. It's not breaking news to anybody, but in watching North Carolina play Syracuse last week, I thought Syracuse covered pretty well, and Drake May made about 6 or 7 throws where you go, oh my God.
Well, when you have a top 5 quarterback in the, top 5 pick in the draft under center, yeah, it helps erase a lot of mistakes. It helps erase a lot of problems. We know. We watched Jameis do it time and again when it happened. I mean, it's just it's the most important player in a football game, and if he's one of the very best to do it, yes, you've got a decided advantage. It would seem to me that maybe this would be the kind of advantage that not even Mac Brown could screw up. But you don't trust it yet, and I understand that because their MO is the same. You've got the same MO for these two teams. It's fascinating. But only one of them went through the kind of gut punch that we've seen with Miami.
Yeah, that's the thing. If the gut punch doesn't happen and it's an all-time ugly win over Georgia Tech, then I think I side with Lee, where I say, who has North Carolina played? And at least Miami has seen on the lines of scrimmage a Texas A&M test. That I don't think South Carolina did not provide the same test to the Tar Heels that Texas A&M provided to Miami.
So just for people who don't know, lest we forget, they did beat South Carolina, who's not good, 31-17. North Carolina found a way to beat Appalachian State 40-34.
Right.
Come on, man. The Minnesota game, they routed Minnesota 31-13. It's a bad team. We know Pitt's not any good. They beat them 41-24, and they beat Syracuse 40-7. It is a fair thing to say about their wins that they really haven't played anybody, and they had a hard time with Appalachian State.
But here's the thing. The debacle did happen, and Mario is a moron. What was it, double moron that he's going to be if he
he's
doesn't
also
take the
been
ball?
A bad in-game coach for a very long time.
Yeah.
He is most notably a recruiter. That is what he is.
Which is why I think the recommendation, if you're going to play the game, I wouldn't. But if you're going to go live, do not do it prior to kickoff. That's just crazy person time.
I like the recommendation to play it live. I would too, just to see, are they in it? Do they care? I mean, you can see a path very easily that this is 14-0 North Carolina and Katie bar the door. Look out. Here comes the laydown.
That's a game I'm not watching with a ticket in front of me. I'm watching with a bucket of popcorn in front of me.
Here we go.
What
do we got here?
Yeah.
Show me the evidence that you care to be here. Because that is a 7:30 game. That crowd is going to be into it. It's a fun night game. And if they get down early, you got Avalanche written all over it.
And Clemson coming to town the next week.
Well, that's why I said to him, if they get absolutely routed this weekend, it's hard not to look ahead and say, okay, well, that would be 2 straight losses, and now you got Clemson. Now you do get a Virginia in between, and I'm not sure Virginia could beat USF, so they should win that game. But they go to a good NC State defense, not a good NC State offense, but a good NC State defense.
Yep.
They come to Florida State. They have to host Louisville. The train could be off the tracks, baby. We could be looking at 5-6 losses again.
And maybe
tragic indeed.
A recruiting class that breaks apart, and maybe the kids are looking elsewhere.
Well, that's what he's guarding
north.
against now.
Yeah.
Agreed. This is what he's guarding against right now. In a weird way, this is a game, you can circle it, that will define the rest of his time in Miami. If they go get housed, if that game's not competitive and there are clear signs that the team quit on him after a debacle that we rarely see. I mean, you rarely see something of that magnitude. Coaches make mistakes. We see it all the time. I've seen it right here in our own backyard, but that kind of mistake is unforgivable.
I'm so happy for this game between North Carolina and Miami because either way, I'm going to be happy. I would be more happy if Miami gets roasted.
Of course, that's always.
Option A. But option B is Mac Brown and the fraudulent goats are back.
Oh, you get to play it, yeah.
And then also, you've got Miami and North Carolina both with a conference loss now, so the path for Florida State gets easier. Option A is Miami getting steamrolled, please, of course. But the other option's not so bad. So we win either way.
For North Carolina, by the way, if you're trying to find losses in their efforts to get to the ACC championship game, if we're trying to project who Florida State would play if they keep winning, well, after Miami, they got Virginia, easy win. At Georgia Tech, they play Campbell. They've got Duke, Clemson, and NC State to close out their schedule. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
Warning. The following Zaxby's ad may contain messaging upsetting to Philadelphians. Zaxby's took the iconic Philly sandwich, the quote-unquote perfect Philly sandwich, and made it perfecter by putting fried chicken on it. That's right, fried chicken on a Philly. And while Philadelphia might find it offensive, you can find it at your local Zaxby's. Finally, the Philly done right. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn.
And Dr. Shannon Lord.
We are the dynamic duo at Finn Chiropractic, where we seek to get to the cause of your problem.
Whether you have neck pain, back pain, headaches, or any joint stiffness,
we've developed the Phenomenal Health Exam with some high-tech ways to get to the cause.
Our Phenomenal Health Exam will give the answers you need.
Get in for the Phenomenal Health Evaluation.
Visit our website at finnchiro.com, FENNCHIRO.com.
Because your chiropractor loves you.
There's nothing you can do about it.
This is an urgent alert for all radio listeners. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is inviting you to participate in a rare opportunity to put a brand new hot spring spa in your yard and make your hot tub dreams come true. From October 13th through October 23rd, all hot spring spas will be available for 0% interest financing for 60 months. For 10 days only, this is a rare opportunity available only at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road. There are over 50 hot tubs in stock right now in their 12,000 square foot showroom. And from October 13th through the 23rd, you can pick your dream spa and take it home with 0% financing for 60 months. No extensions will be made on this offer. This is it for 10 days only. Take advantage of this incredibly hot offer from Hot Spring Spas from October 13th to October 23rd at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road, just off Capitol Circle Northeast.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can pull them to the test.
Your heating and air conditioning system doesn't check with you before it takes a break. That's why we're always ready to help. Any day, anytime, anywhere. And with our annual service agreement, there are no overtime charges. Ever. At Berno Heating and Air, we will always be there for you.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
License CAC 1816186.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Don't go anywhere. Your chance to win $1,000 is coming up next on Real Talk 93.3 WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
And live movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
The Jacksonville Jaguars 4-point home favorites against the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday at Everbank Stadium, 44.5 the total. Trevor Lawrence, 252.5 passing yards, 1.5 touchdown tosses. minus 125 to the over. Gardner Minshew getting the start for the Colts for Anthony Richardson, who's out with a shoulder injury. 223.5, 1.5 touchdown passes, minus 195 to the under for Minshew. Florida State, a 17.5-point home favorite against Syracuse, a total 55 at Doak Campbell Stadium. Florida State 13-2 all-time against the Orange. Florida 2-point road dogs at South Carolina. Get your free VSiN subscription right now at VSIN.com. For more sports betting news and information, go to VSIN.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
The new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium is here. Switch to my plan from Verizon at your local store today, and you'll get the amazing new iPhone 15 Pro on us with unlimited ultimate when you trade in any iPhone, any model, any condition. Guaranteed. Yep, even the old phone in your pocket right now. It's your Verizon. $999.99, 128 gigabyte only. Device payment purchase or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on unlimited ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in or promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR.
Get the one and done you want for your dog's monthly protection. New NexGard Plus, a Foxalon or moxidectin and pyrantel chewable tablet. Protects against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. All in one delicious beef-flavored soft chew. Used with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about new NexGard Plus chews.
This is Jamie McClenny of Trek Financial, co-host of Cover Your Assets here on Real Talk 93.3. Since three of the largest bank failures in U.S. history last March, the S&P 500 is up over 10% as D.C. politicians added an additional $1.5 trillion in spending after raising the debt ceiling. This rally has been extremely narrow as a handful of mega-cap stocks are responsible for over 70% of the gain on the S&P 500 year-to-date. The yield on the 10-year Treasury has been below the 3-month rate for over 200 trading days, the longest streak in 6 decades. As one economist quipped, ignore these signals at your own risk. Managing downside risk is one of the biggest challenges that you will face in retirement, but a clearly defined risk management protocol can help to mitigate large drawdowns in your retirement nest egg. If you're concerned about where all of this might be headed, give me a call at 850-900-5200 and schedule an office visit to discover the risk in your current portfolio.
Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
It's time to splash into cash with Swain Pools and Spas. Here is your next keyword.
Yes. Y-E-S. Yes. Y-E-S. Yes.
Text that keyword now to 508-777-1000. That's 508-777-1000 for your chance to win $1,000. Sponsored by Swain Pools and Spas.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com. Have to do red zone. I have no idea what my Patriot over here is going to do in terms of questions?
I got 2 of them.
You got 2?
Yeah, I've game planned for 2. But sometimes the opening segment, here's a little behind the curtain. Sometimes the opening segment of the hour tells me where your head's at. So I'm like, ooh, he's going to respond to this question well.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're keying in on code, keywords or phrases or tone or whatever it might be. I'm in a good mood. Does that help you think about the questions?
It does, yes.
Okay.
Because you might field a question that you normally would say, oh, that's ridiculous. But if you're in a good mood, you might hear it, I read the facial expressions. It's never as crazy as Tom Rinaldi off camera, which is one of the spookiest things you'll ever see.
Oh, so we've gone inside baseball before and told stories before about where we were at Jameis's draft party and watching Tom Rinaldi. It was a weird, ominous, uncomfortable sort of behavioral body language thing. He was really weird.
If something came out about him,
that's correct.
I'd be like, yeah.
We said the same thing. Well, remember he handed him an envelope?
In front of everybody.
Well, he wanted everybody to see it. He gave Jameis a handwritten note in an envelope. And I'm sure advising the young man on how to live his life.
Correct. And to paint the picture for everybody, it's not like Tom Rinaldi showed up as the broadcast started and then conducted the interview. He was at the house that Jameis was at all day. And they had about a half an hour together in the house where he could have been like, hey, Jameis, not for nothing, but I appreciate you, young man. I just have some words, and I hope you have a great career. Instead, he completes the satellite hit from the front lawn of the house.
And then he pulls him off the side, puts his arm around him.
Not even off to the side, but in front of everybody.
Oh, he wants everybody to see it, yeah.
Very Tebow kneeling in front of the camera energy.
I also remember my favorite panic moment behind the scenes as everybody else was flustered. The NFL Network was there, and they had a cast of characters there, and they lost power.
Well, it was ESPN. It was Rinaldi.
Yeah.
NFL Network got the first interview.
And that really pissed off Rinaldi. It pissed off ESPN. But then the power went out, and everybody was panicked, and we were laughing because we were going to do the interview with Jameis on the phone. It was like, I got it. We'll just video record this from inside the house, which we did do.
Yet Rinaldi chased the engineers down the front steps of the house.
Screaming. He was furious.
Out the front door.
Yeah.
Well, their plan for power, they didn't have a generator. They plugged into the home. You are ESPN, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and you don't bring a generator to Nowhere, Alabama?
Yeah, that was
all they have is satellite internet. That's why we were going to do the broadcast in the house.
It was Nowhere, Alabama. That's right.
They've got satellite internet, which was not going to be reliable enough to connect back home, so we used the hotel instead. So we made a judgment based upon the surroundings that it wasn't going to be reliable. They plugged into the front under the brick facade of the house. This is going to be our power for the entire truck.
That said, and one final note on the behind the scenes on the day that Jameis Winston was drafted #1 overall, and we were there for that draft and that moment, which is really cool. We'll probably never do anything that cool again in our broadcast career. To be somewhere where the #1 pick in the draft is going,
that's unique.
It's really unique. It's really weird. But I will forever shout out Judge Hobby. That dude was awesome.
He was a great guy. Yeah.
He's out there mowing his own lawn like hours before, so everything looked nice for the cameras. My man's just out there on the riding mower getting after it. Good old Judge Hobby.
My wife's inside. She'll say hello. She'll get you set up.
Yeah, he was like, my wife's inside. If you want something to eat, she'll make it. Do you want some tea? I was like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah. It was just a normal set, like a judge in a normal setting.
Very normal
That's
setting.
crazy. And the one thing I was not angry, but I was disappointed. I was sick the night before. Remember that? It was the Game 7.
You and I watched the Lightning in Detroit.
Yeah, that's correct. 1-0, I think, was the final.
1-0. That's right. And we went to that cool bar in Birmingham.
We did. It was a really cool
It was a really good bar. I missed that bar. I'd like to go back to that bar with a non-sick Tom Lang.
I had a half a beer, and he said, really?
You couldn't even, oh, man, I was having a good time.
Muster the strength. I said, no.
Couldn't muster the strength to finish a beer. One cold beer. He couldn't do it.
I've been able to finish.
I had several.
Many beers in my lifetime. But you got pulled away to the backyard party.
Yeah.
And I was just out there.
You were out there staring at the moon.
I felt like it was almost famous, and there I am, the young kid just sitting outside.
I got pulled into the special party, the backyard party, by the uncle.
Yeah.
And he pulled me aside, and we had a delightful conversation.
He was a good guy.
Really good guy. He is a good guy as far as we know. I don't want to say was. I hope he's still with us.
Well, it's
that
almost
night,
10 years ago, the interaction.
You never know. Could be dead, like Leroy Selman. You never
Some people respond to that well. I thought Lee was.
He didn't handle that well. He was flustered.
It was neutral at best.
He didn't know what to do.
He almost apologized. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss, Jeff.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Lee. I wasn't mad. It was a simple mistake. He's like, are they going to bring Leroy Selman out? Ooh, that'd be a doozy. It'd be like creamsicle on bones. That's all you can do. And by the way,
matches the numbers.
And by the way, I love Leroy Selman. I mean, I love him. He's one of my favorite players in the history of the NFL. So this is all.
He looks like the guy after the Joker handshake in Batman. Just a skeleton in a suit.
Leroy Selman was the first player the Bucs ever had that you could go to a game and look out onto the field between the two opposing teams and go, hey, we've got the best player on the field. That is why he changed the franchise. That was never said before.
I loved the Bucs so much as a kid. I mean, they're my team, obviously, but when it felt that way, they already had Derek Brooks by the time that the uniforms had changed, and for several years. But when they brought Warwick Dunn that first year, it was unbelievable to watch Saturday transport to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like my hero as a kid was 28 in garnet and white.
Yeah.
And then to have him play for the Bucs, it just brought that whole thing to life. And he was a stud early in his career.
Well, and I thought the same thing about Derek Brooks, seeing Derek Brooks go to the Bucs. And like, man, and that's my mom's favorite player probably of all time, I think, at least in the NFL.
It's just hard to appreciate a defensive player as a 6 or 7 year old. You know, the offensive players are so much easier to they have the ball in their hands. And Charlie and Warwick were those two guys. But then, they started 5-0 with Warwick Dunn. I think his first game was on the road at Detroit, team they're playing this weekend. And all they were doing were mashups between Barry Sanders and Warwick Dunn. Now, of course, Warwick never went that hard in his pro career.
No.
But Warwick had
nobody else did either.
He had a great debut against the Lions.
And Warwick Dunn ended up having a great career. He's one of those fringe guys for the Hall of Fame that we talk about all the time. If you just look at total yards, and he was ahead of his time. Now, Marshall Faulk beat him to it, but he and Marshall Faulk are very similar. Now, Marshall was a better runner, but that is still, when you look at just total yards, what he did from scrimmage, and the game changed that way later on. That's what backs became, was, threatening pass catchers as well as guys that could run it.
Marshall was great before he went to the Rams. Don't get me wrong here, before he went to St. Louis. But if you put Warwick Dunn in that St. Louis offense, I'm sure the numbers he racks up are astronomical.
Absolutely.
If you got Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt and Oz Hakeem and Kirk,
it's a ridiculous
Warwick Dunn's going to rack up a lot of yards because you're not worrying about him for second or third.
And he's getting the ball in space the way that they got Marshall in space. Yeah, absolutely. This conversation's fun for a lot of reasons because everybody can relate to it, first of all. Everybody grew up with a favorite player. I mean, before the Bucs were ever in Tampa, and as I grew up, Tony Dorsett was all time. I still love Tony Dorsett. I was so sad to hear, by the way, bring this really quick and I'll round it out. I was sad to hear that Tony Dorsett is suffering, as a lot of ex-players are from that era, from CTE. And it's not surprising. He's still around and healthy enough to have conversations and do those kinds of things. I know this because I know somebody who went to the Hall of Fame and met him and talked to him, and he said he was delightful, but he admitted that he is suffering some memory loss and having a hard time with it. And he was trying to get out in front and do something for the current players and the previous players, and he was at least organizing behind the scenes to try to see that they could get help. I will say it's not CTE, it's not the same thing, but I forget, Tom, and I have forgotten, and people probably think, well, that's rude. He hasn't brought it up. I forgot that people did not know of Mike Martin's diagnosis. And there was an article written this week by Jim Henry, and people consume that in the Tallahassee Democrat. And it's the first that a lot of people in this audience and in this community heard of Mike Martin's Lewy body diagnosis and in the dementia that he's suffering. And I, of course, knew of it a while back, just, the nature of our job and knowing that family, et cetera. It's sad. It's very sad. And we wish him and Carol all the best and his family all the best. It is, it's an impossible thing. I had to go through it in my family. My wife's mom suffered from dementia and until she passed. And it's a terrible thing. A lot of you out there can relate to it and know about it. You've had family members or friends go through this. I was not ignoring that story. I was not dismissing Mike Martin and that story. I forgot others didn't know about it. I knew about it. So I didn't really even pay much attention to the story because I was well aware of it.
My favorite moments with Mike Martin, because in the early part of what I've done covering Florida State, I was a beat reporter for baseball specifically for another network.
Yeah.
And in those days, he would do the dugout interviews, which I really appreciated. So you go down first baseline, go to talk to him. And in the beginning of the season, there was a redundancy between basketball and baseball. So he would always ask who won.
Yeah, who won?
And he was just the most like a kid in a candy store because we were pretty good in that time. That was Junkyard Dog 1.0, 56 to 53 finals, those types of games. But we were winning a lot. And he would ask us all on the beat, hey, did we win? Did we win?
Right.
And then, if the answer was yes, we wouldn't start the interview for another 3 or 4 minutes because, what happened? And he just wants to know everything that happened. If we lost, we wouldn't start the interview for another 2 or 3 minutes because and he'd be despondent and he'd have to gather himself to get ready to go and talk about today's game of baseball. But it was just the best. And he was always, as the head coach of the team, incredibly gracious with his time and, extend nothing but as many warm wishes and love as we can to the Martin family.
We do indeed. And he did, to add to your story, because it's not unique, it's pretty cool. Trey Jones, golf coach, Florida State, big win for them this week. Good for them. Winning the Stevens Cup.
Roberts with a big win. That's
big win.
Huge for that young man.
Congratulations to Trey and his golf team. Obviously, we watched and followed Florida State golf pretty closely. But Trey told me that Mike Martin was one of the first when he was named head coach to come over and introduce himself and really ask him, if you need anything, what kind of help do you need? What do you need me to do? If there's ever any way I can help you recruit, anything you need me to do, please let me know. He's an avid golfer, so he was going to see, obviously, Trey an awful lot at events and so forth. But Trey knew that he had Mike Martin in his back pocket. Like, hey, we're going out to Tampa to talk to a recruit. His dad loves baseball. I'm with you. I'll jump on the plane with you. Let's go. Let's play around with his dad. Let's go. And he did that, and it should be acknowledged. And that's one of a million stories about the man. I'll answer the question that we got. It's an abrupt right turn, I understand. There it is. Sorry, I couldn't find it for a moment. Noel Kev said, hey, guys, haven't been able to watch as much as I used to. Missed the after show after Virginia Tech. So here's the Red Solo Cup Xbox headset post-game dono. Little late. Anyways, what's JT's NFL evaluation? Well, okay. I've gone to 4 or 5 different sites that I like to look at to see our roster of players, because you and I had a conversation before the year that this looked like a roster that would see 9 to 12 players drafted off of it. Now, We didn't talk about first round or anything like that. We just said, seems to me they've got 9 to 12 guys on this team that will get drafted. And whether that's the 6th round, 7th round, 1st round, 2nd round, they're going to get drafted. And in doing so, I began to go down a rabbit hole with Travis because I think Jordan Travis is a very unique prospect in the modern game of football. If this were yesteryear, Jordan Travis is not a draft prospect. Just plain and simple. If this were the old days and the way that teams really valued pocket passers, size, big arms, all that sort of thing, much more, Jordan wouldn't be a prospect. But in the modern era where there are plenty of guys who have the diversity of skill set that Jordan Travis does, which is the unique ability to make huge plays outside the pocket, to throw on the run, to make people miss, quarterback designed runs, the RPO game, which has come to the NFL now, that helps Jordan Travis a lot. Part of Jordan Travis's problems, if you're going to knock him as a draft prospect, is you're going to say he's not a big guy at all. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. That's not a big guy going to the league. Now, there are smaller guys in the league, but they are outliers.
And he's had to work very, very hard to get in that 210 ballpark.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's not a big wingspan. He's not, all that stuff that you talk about. He is an NFL prospect. I would tell you that of the places I go to, if I were going to assess, I guess if you just took the aggregate, you just looked at all of the rankings, he's well behind several players. He's well behind at that position. I'll pull up my stuff here. He's well behind Caleb Williams, Drake May, obviously. He's behind Michael Penix. He's behind Quinn Ewers. He's behind Bo Nix. He's behind Riley Leonard at Duke. He's behind, I've seen him behind Spencer Rattler at this point. So if you start doing that, if you start saying a guy is outside the top 10 of the quarterbacks to be drafted, well, then you're talking about a late round draft pick. You're talking about, this is a loaded year for quarterback, I might say. NFL people love Williams, May. Hell, Shedeur Sanders has risen up the charts massively. In many scouts' eyes, he's a top 10 quarterback in this upcoming draft. Maybe not top 10 pick, just top 10 quarterback. Like right now, Penix is rated higher. Williams is rated higher. May is rated higher. Ewers is rated higher. Nix is rated higher. Leonard is rated higher. But then you would get into a Shedeur Sanders. You'd get into a Jaden Daniels. A Jaden Daniels is more well thought of at this point.
Yeah, Daniels is more fit physically to handle the rigors of an NFL game. But, let's say Jordan is a final day draft pick, late round, 5th through 7th. He's a guy that's worth taking a swing on at that price point. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The thing is, if he can clean up his deep ball accuracy, that was his best friend before last year. The best thing you could say about him before he took that big step to being a true quarterback was, man, if he's throwing outside the numbers and down the field, it's accurate. It's on a dime. That has not been the case at all this year.
I will project, if you'd like, for fun, he is a 3rd or 4th round pick right now, at best.
Yeah.
I think he projects as a 4th round pick right about now.
I agree. I don't think he goes Friday or Saturday.
Well, he's just not magically going to get a lot taller. He's had injury problems in his career. He's not he's not a thick kid.
He's shown enough big-time throw ability across his career, but if he can string it together in the back half of the season, he can help himself and get in squarely into day 2 in that 3rd round. But he's not there right now. There's too much inconsistency on the deep ball. There just is. And some of the throws he makes, like I think the best throws he's made this year are the fade to Keon Coleman for his last touchdown against LSU. That ball is dynamite. And then it's the 2nd and 10 to Trey Benson to pick us up off the mat against Clemson. It's the back shoulder. That is one hell of a throw. Now, he creates windows with his mobility in an awesome way.
Well, it's an elite mobility. That's the thing. It's not average. It's not just like you're not going to write in the scouting report when you do strengths and weaknesses, you're not going to write mobile. But you're going to write elite mobility.
His best friend would be getting the ball down the field and being a big play type of player, a splash play, explosive player. But at 30% on 20-plus yards down the field completion, that's just not going to cut it. Not with these receivers. You should be all the better for it.
Correct. Yeah. No, I think we've assessed that pretty well. There is, he can alter trajectories and speeds. He can spin it better than average. It's not elite. He can spin it better than average.
Okay, so if you're a 4th or 5th round pick, you're in the hundreds, right? Obviously in terms of the pick and
total number of picks. Yeah.
All right. The number that Jordan Travis has picked is higher or lower than the amount of Zaxby's we have here in Tallahassee.
I forgot. I was checking on the way in, Tom. 77 Zaxby's in town.
Oh, well, if he's picked lower than 77,
that'd be amazing.
That means we get a lot of good news between now and the end of the
year. That would mean he'd really tear it up at that point. 77 Zaxby's in town, and every one of them have that delicious chicken sandwich. It's huge, gigantic. And now they've got a Philly chicken sandwich.
You get the chicken Philly to celebrate, maybe an NLCS berth.
And nobody sells the chicken Philly quite like I do. As I said on last week's show, I thought it was going to suck. I thought the chicken Philly was going to be terrible, and it turned out to be good. I was wrong. Zaxby's got it right. It's delicious.
You turned when I walked in the store. You said, Tom, this bread is whoop ass.
It is. That's exactly what I said. I said, this bread is whoop ass. This is a whoop ass hoagie. This is good. They did it right. They did it right. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hello, Leon County. Let's get ready to win with Ken. I'm Ken Preston. I want to be your next Leon County property appraiser. I'm driven, committed, experienced, and a dedicated community servant. I'm ready to put my experience as a former property appraiser to work to help make a difference for the people of Leon County. Let's go to work. Vote for me. Ken Preston for Leon County Property Appraiser 2024. Win with Ken. Hey, political advertisement by Ken Preston for Leon County Property Appraiser.
This is an urgent alert for all radio listeners. Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is inviting you to participate in a rare opportunity to put a brand new hot spring spa in your yard and make your hot tub dreams come true. From October 13th to October 23rd, all hot spring spas will be available for 0% interest financing for 60 months. For 10 days only, this is a rare opportunity available only at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road. There are over 50 hot tubs in stock right now in their 12,000 square foot showroom. And from October 13th through the 23rd, you can pick your dream spa and take it home with 0% financing for 60 months. No extensions will be made on this offer. This is it for 10 days only. Take advantage of this incredibly hot offer from Hot Spring Spas from October 13th to October 23rd at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road, just off Capitol Circle Northeast.
Hey, Noel fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Excellence defines us, so we'll never let orthopedic pain and injury define you. DOC is a physician-led team of fellowship-trained specialists providing the highest level of orthopedic care in the region. With 12 centers of excellence and TOC Now urgent care clinics, where patients access affordable expert care fast. TOC, only experts. Schedule an appointment at teamtoc.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure for max strength daytime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. DayQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. The daytime, non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use it directed.
I had an important job, and it wasn't just a job, it was keeping my brothers and sisters safe. And coming back, it felt like kind of thrown away. If it hadn't been for Wounded Warrior Project, I honestly don't know if I would be here. It was like, I got my family back again. We all felt the connection, like that brother and sisterhood.
See how Wounded Warrior Project empowers women veterans like Donna by visiting woundedwarriorproject.org/empowerwomenvets.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
A lot of fun because you ask good questions, and also we love our friends at Artisan Financial Strategies. As I do every week, and as I say in the podcast, and for good reason, guys need to check out Artisan Financial Strategies. Doing a great job for a lot of Noles out there, and non-Noles for that matter. That's because our friend and fellow Nole, Adam Tolliver, and his team at Artisan Financial Strategies, they're there. They're helping you prepare for retirement. Some of you are at midfield, let's say, if we're using the football analogy. Some of you are down there around the goal line. But whether you're making sure you know how much you can spend without running out of money, protecting yourself and your family from rising healthcare costs, or carefully planning your legacy, the Artisan team brings a combined 30-plus years of planning experience and world-class resources to help you navigate that. And for more information, just head on over to NoleRetirement.com. That is NoleRetirement, all one word, .com. Do it. Good people, honest people, hardworking, smart people helping you out. Artisan Financial Strategies. All right, Tom. Let's bring it on.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game. Oh, he hits the upright. It's no good.
You have entered.
Someone burned down the funeral home. You burnt the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Sideline. Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
I know who I am.
North. South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
It's good to know.
Over the top ridiculousness sounds great on a Friday for the Red Zone. Artisan Financial Strategies. Check them out. Tom, questions. Let's fire away with what we got here.
All right, first down. This weekend, Florida State is celebrating the 1993 National Championship team.
My man, William Floyd.
And that is right. So I ask you on first down, which one player from the 1993 team would help this version of the Noles the most?
William Floyd. I'm biased. That's my guy.
Really? I mean, we got Jaheim Bell.
I'm kidding. Okay. I'm kidding. Yeah.
All love to William. Don't get me wrong.
I was going to say now. Let's not do that. That's a tough one.
Yeah. It's not littered like 99 with frontline stars, but they've got plenty of really, really good players. It's just you're not going to say Warwick.
No, I'm not.
Because the backfield's loaded up.
Yeah, we're fine at running back. Oh, man. You know, your instinct is to say Charlie Ward because he was just, but no, I wouldn't say Charlie Ward.
Right.
But Charlie Ward was special. He really was. That's tough, man.
DB?
You could probably go defensive back or safety there. Yeah, I think you would go by need. I think you would. I think you'd say just because this team, linebacker, Tom. Yeah. Would we go linebacker?
Probably so. You don't want Pooh Bear Williams on this team?
Pooh has passed away, by the way.
Oh.
I
Lee Sterling.
Oh, man. No.
Sam Cowart, Derek Brooks?
Well, I was going to say Derek Brooks. It just seems obvious to me that if you're going to go linebacker, you probably got to go Derek Brooks. And it's not – Sam Cowart was a great player, but, yeah, Derek Brooks.
All right. See, that's a good question on first down. Success rate is high. Second down, over under 150 yards of rushing tomorrow for Florida State.
Over.
You feel pretty confident about that.
Over, yeah. I like it. Yeah, absolutely.
Over under, third down, 13.5 points scored against FSU's first-team defense tomorrow. 13.5 points for Syracuse against Florida State's first-team defense.
Under.
Okay.
I got them getting to 17 points. The last 7 will be a garbage time touchdown against our backups.
I'm not guaranteeing that there is garbage time, but you just got to hedge for the purpose of the question. So there.
By the way, I almost surprised you. You know why I was hemming and hawing? Devin Bush might be the answer to the 93 team. I mean, Derek Brooks was so electrified. I can't say that. That's not fair. But Devin Bush could have been the answer. I feel like the problems we've had at safety warrants our attention in this situation.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead.
All right, fourth down. Fourth. Not named Keon Coleman, and you can't choose a running back or a tight end.
Oh, we're doing this again?
Yep. Who is FSU?
I'm going to eliminate every single option that they utilize on a given Saturday.
So Johnny's probably, well, we'll see whether he's out or not. That's not a state secret. Keon Coleman can't be counted in this exercise, running backs or tight ends. Florida State has to throw to another receiver, right? Destin Hill's got 4 targets for the year.
I'm tired of it. Tired of it, Tom Lang.
So who's it going to be? Him, Kentron, Ja'Kai, somebody
Is
else?
Portier healthy? Do we think Portier's ready to go? Is he at 100%?
He was on the field last week.
If he's healthy and ready to go, probably Kentron. But if he's not, then it's going to be Destin Hill by default, and I'm ready for it. Let's go. I mean, listen, I think we have forgotten. So much time has passed. We forgot how good Kentron Portier is. He's a good player.
This is a reminder spot for him. And again, if you're looking for position versatility, I don't know that he's a guy you want in the slot. But if Johnny's not playing this weekend, then he could just play the position that he was meant to play, which is in the outside. He had an excellent spring. And he's a decent blocker, too. That's important because a lot of what Syracuse calls for is perimeter actions with the quick passes. And you got to have some receivers that can block for you. That's where actually Johnny's loss, I think, would hurt more in this instance. I think if they're going to play it like,
yeah,
if they play it like they did last year
with the bubbles,
there's a lot of bubbles.
Yeah, a lot of bubbles. Yeah. If they're going to play that off, though, I don't really care. We're going to be all right. I like us here. I like us to do whatever we like. This is what we'll do. I'll feel pretty good about it. Tommy, we got to go because we got to come back and bet with my mom, who's 3 games up. She's a special guest appearance today on the Jeff Cameron Show. What a Libations Friday we have. She's in studio as we sit right now. Actually, if you want, you can even pull her up right there. There you go. As we whet the appetite. There's Mama in studio. Here we go. Waving. Ready to lose. Ready to get trounced. Eagerly awaiting the shift in momentum. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A 13-year-old male pedestrian involved in a traffic crash that occurred Wednesday morning around 7:10 a.m. on Blairstone Road has died as a result of his injuries sustained in the crash. The 13-year-old was crossing the street with his mother and siblings when the crash happened. The vehicle and driver remained on scene. No arrests have been made at this time. This remains an open and active investigation, and updates will be provided as more information becomes available. 17-year-old Jadarius Brown, who was arrested on manslaughter charges in September following an accidental shooting that occurred at Springfield apartment complex, will be charged as an adult. Brown and 3 other people were in a car smoking marijuana in a parking lot around 4 p.m. when Brown inadvertently pulled the trigger, striking a woman. He then drove her to a local hospital, but not until he ditched the firearm at a separate location. The victim died from her injuries. Brown has been charged as an adult for the crime and transported to the Leon County Jail. His first court appearance is Thursday. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Highs level off around 77 this afternoon under overcast skies, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly cloudy tonight, lows around 64. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. Highs level off around 84. Temperatures a bit below average Sunday and Monday with highs from the upper 60s to the mid 70s. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 69.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick. Professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at WestonTrawick.com.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The bungalow chung, Jeff?
Is that what is the pork?
The bungalow chung, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Rendition of this particular segment. Before we get started, of course, we've got to cue it up, Tommy.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room! Ma, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
Well, hello, Mama. Good to have you in here.
How are you?
Good. You excited to be in the studio?
I am. This is a rare treat.
Normally, you'd be driving up right now. Instead, here we are. Are you intimidated? You feel like you're going to whiff on all your picks today?
Oh, no, I'm not, because I've done this ahead of time.
Can't beat on the thing here, Mom. It makes all
sorry.
kinds of noise.
Sorry about that. I've already screwed up, and I've barely been on.
No, you haven't screwed up. Just a reminder, it's radio, it's live, and we've got you mic'd up and ready to roll. Okay, so did you bring your sheet in? I didn't even look.
I did, see?
Okay,
see?
there's the sheet.
I have a sheet.
Yep, and you're a little bit too dependent on it. But there we go. We've got the sheet. I will pull up the schedule, and we will get to bet. Now, you're up right now by 3.
I am. How about that? You lost 2 out of 3 last week.
This is a travesty. What is going on out here? Now, we watched the game together last night. We both had the Chiefs. Nobody would take the Broncos, so that is very believable.
Yes.
All right, Mom. Now you get to say in person. Ooh, that's a tough one. This is I'm not sure about this one. You get to say
put my glasses on.
Here we go.
Okay, what is it?
Ravens at Titans, 9:30 a.m. from London.
Yeah. Oh.
You wanted to say it.
I know. I took the Ravens.
I did too.
Okay.
Commanders at the Falcons.
That's a hard one. I took Atlanta. I don't know why, but I did.
I took Atlanta as well.
Okay.
Dvikings at Bears. Ooh.
That's a terrible game.
Ooh.
That is really a terrible game.
Ooh.
I took the who did I take? Wait a minute.
Your sheet's right in front of me.
I know it. All right, I gotta find
it's a battle
it.
for
Hang on
Caleb
a
Williams.
I took Chicago.
Me too. I think the Vikings suck. I'm tired of watching
And last
them too.
week, didn't Chicago go crazy last week?
Yeah, they beat Washington.
That's what I thought.
Like a drum.
Yeah. Okay.
Seahawks at Bengals.
Seahawks.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Oh.
Joe Cool's back.
You think
He heard
so?
me talking bad about him.
All right, let me find it.
Let's go,
down.
Bengals.
Oh.
I almost kicked him out of the facility last week, and then he went out there and looked good.
You're back in love with him.
I've always been in love with him. He's fine. That's my guy. That's my guy. This is too easy. 49ers at Browns.
49ers.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Saints at Texans.
Now, I know that game is kind of, I'm not sure.
A little wonky.
It's a little wonky. I took New Orleans.
Me too.
Okay.
And I kind of like the Texans, but they disappointed me last week.
I know.
Bastards.
Yeah. Yeah, was that one of your losses?
Yeah, yes, it was. Colts at Jags.
Now, I listened to Lee Sterling.
And you thought, this man is nuts.
Yeah. I forgot about the jet lag aspect of it, and I do agree with that, but I took Jacksonville, and I'm sticking with it. So there you go.
I'm having a hard time. It's just hard for me to say Colts. I mean, really?
I know.
But that number is that number. The last 12 teams returning from London tied or trailing in the fourth quarter of their next game if they didn't have a bye.
But that doesn't mean they lost. It just means they were tied or trailing.
That's
in the fourth
correct,
quarter.
but the games were all way too close.
Well, I'm going with my Trevor Lawrence.
Well,
he looks like a girl, but he plays great. I like him. I'm not disparaging him.
No,
I'm just saying
he's sounded a little bit disparaging.
He's so pretty that he's looks like a girl.
Yeah, I'll take the Jags, and we'll stop talking about how pretty Lawrence is.
All right.
Panthers at Dolphins.
Yes.
Patriots at Raiders. Ooh, no.
I know that's a bad game too. I took the Raiders. I think New England is just
Done.
they're down.
That's it.
Yeah. Bill may be on his way out.
We called for a long walk in the woods for Bill. We said it's time. We gotta take. You got a Lenny Bill out there. It's like, look off in the distance, Bill. Tell us about being on to Cincinnati, and we go from there. That's it.
Lordy.
That's it. We both took the Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go, Mom. Lions, Bucks.
I know it. Bucks all the way.
You like them big?
Oh, well.
No, we're not that good.
I like them. I like them
marginally.
10 points.
What?
Yeah.
I'll take the Lions in 10 if you're willing to give
it.
Oh,
no. But I do think the Bucks will win by a touchdown, but I think more than a touchdown. I think the Bucks are doing all right. I'm on the Baker
Mayfield train. All right. I've got the Bucks winning the game too in a coin flip. I'll take the Bucks at home.
Okay.
Creamsicle and inspiring.
Absolutely. And they might, if they roll Leroy out there,
that'd be a toughie. Again, that would be not in good taste.
I can't believe that Lee Sterling did not know that Leroy Selman.
Well, you heard when I said, well, it'd be tough because he's dead. And then he stuttered and went, that's right.
That shocks me.
Yeah.
Maybe the current logo has been Leroy Selman all along. Food for thought.
That's well done. We both take the Bucks in an upset. Mild upset. Lions aren't the same team on the road as they are at home. Cardinals at Rams. Boo.
Yeah, I took the Rams.
Me too. Eagles at Jets. You took the Eagles. Giants at Bills. You took the Bills. Here we go. Last one, tough one. Cowboys at Chargers.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You
Two
know,
incompetent coaches.
I took Dallas.
I'm going to take the Chargers.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't know about Dak. I mean, I am.
It's looking a little shaky.
Yeah, it is.
Looking a little shaky.
I can't. What did he get? What did they give him? $35 million or
Well,
something?
it's not as bad as the Russell Wilson contract. Holy moly.
Yeah.
I was reading this week, Mom, that for the Broncos to hit reset, to blow it all up, like if management says, oh my God, what have we done? We gave Russell Wilson $200+ million. He's insane and not any good. And then we brought in Sean Payton, who doesn't know what down it is. Just out here looking like a buffoon on a weekly basis, running antiquated offenses. We got to start over, gang. Management would tell them we can't because we're buried from a salary cap standpoint and what we would owe both these gentlemen till 2026.
Wow.
The earliest, one expert said the earliest they think that they could hit reset and get out from under it and not be devastated with the cap would be in 2026. So if you're a Broncos fan and you're watching this sorry team every week get destroyed, it's 2023. You got 3 more years of watching this train wreck.
Enjoy Mike McCarthy.
Oh my God.
My Lord.
You know what you'd have to do? You'd have to go over there and say to him, look, you and I both know this isn't working. You don't want to be here. Russell's nuts. We're going to have to start all over. So even if we cut Russell, you're in salary cap hell. We don't have picks. We gave up all of our picks. All of our picks we gave up for your stupid ass. And now, that would be insulting if he was in the room. But I think we can agree you're a dumbass. So then here we are. What do? I need you to take $10 million and leave.
Fox will take you back, throw you on the desk.
Here's $10 million. Get out of here. He's going to say no, of course. But, I mean, have a heart. Look at us. We're out here lost in the wilderness.
It's your legacy too, Sean.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
every day that goes by.
A lost ball in high weeds, as Granddad would say.
Yes, there it is. Sean Payton is a lost ball in high weeds.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. Yeah, that is kind of scary. Well, I don't understand why someone, like we said this when you were talking about Miami, too, with that coach, with Cristobal, but, at the pro level, why in the world doesn't somebody say in his headset to Sean Payton, hey, it's not third down? I mean, he's got people all around him.
We've now seen 2 situations in back-to-back weeks where we're all left incredulous, where a coach doesn't know about the time or the down or the score, and you're thinking, my man, you're getting paid $8 million a year. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't either, Mom. It's the kind of thing, like a lot of times fans will say, oh, I could do better than this guy, or I'd be better off than this guy, but they don't really mean it. They know they couldn't play in the NFL.
Right.
Like a guy drops a ball, like, I could have caught that one. Yeah, perhaps, but you'd never be in the league. That dude's a freak athlete. We all get it. But some of the things we've seen recently, every fan could rightfully say, I would not have done that. I know better than to do that. That really ought to never happen.
Right.
It not happen.
Even me.
Of course you.
I mean, everybody. That's
everybody.
The thing. There are times where there's nuance to a review, a choice of a timeout, clock management. Even when you feel like the whole world should know, there's an argument. That there is no argument.
I'm surprised a fan didn't yell from the stands. What are you doing?
Well, I'm sure they did after the fact.
Well, they should have done it before the fact.
The best part is that he said that last year's coaching job by Denver's former head coach, Hackett, is the most embarrassing performance by a head coach in history.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's why when the Jets beat their ass last week, they celebrated in the way like they had won the Super Bowl. They wanted to get back at him.
Oh, yeah. I hope Hackett called him.
Yeah, and so now he gives up 70 in his first 4 games. Is 70 to the Dolphins. That happened.
Yeah.
Not just this buffoonish thing on the side. They gave up 70 in an NFL game.
That's almost the most ever scored, isn't it?
Oh, 70?
Yeah.
No, 75, I think, is the most.
It's 3 or 5.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And Miami could have gone for it. They had time.
I wish they would have. When you get to that rarefied air, you got to keep going. You got to pull a Spurrier when he was between the hedges against Georgia the one year where they were doing renovations over there in Jacksonville. What's the most points ever scored in here? Quote, unquote. No. So they're up huge in the fourth. It's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. They're up huge in the fourth quarter. You can go look this up. And the game's over. I mean, they're just routing Georgia. And he turned to his assistant coach and said, what's the most points ever scored in this building? Just kept chucking it.
Yeah, there
I got to tell you, that's awesome.
That's the ball coach.
That's what you got to do. If I were Mike, I'd be like, what's the biggest number we've ever put up on Syracuse? And I'd say it every week. I'd ask all my assistants every week, what's the biggest number we've ever put up on so-and-so?
There's got to be a 70 burger against Syracuse, I would think. 59 was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I remember the 50. Oh, of course I remember that.
That was Jameis had a lead block for Kermit Whitfield on an end around, as I recall.
Whitfield, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll have to look it up. We'll take a quick break, come back and see what the biggest number ever scored. Then we'll make a prediction. Mom, you stick around. We'll do probables together as well.
Okay.
Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
There's no doubt that buying a home can feel overwhelming, especially if it's your first home. You're worried about location, school zones, square footage, inspections, insurance, loan approvals, interest rates, and of course the price. Buying a home could be the most significant investment you've ever made. But there's good news. You have our friends at Legendary Home Loans, and they're on your side and in your corner. They're going to go to bat for you. Shannon Young from Legendary Home Loans can help first-time home buyers get up to $25,000 for your down payment. For first responders, veterans, teachers, military, and healthcare workers, and that's not all. Shannon is an expert navigator of the home loan terrain, and you can trust that he's going to get you the most competitive interest rates and guide you through the process every step of the way. Plus, Shannon will also get your closing costs reduced. It's the Hometown Heroes program at Legendary Home Loans. Give them a call today, 844-FSU-LOAN. That's 844-FSU-LOAN. Or go to FSUHomeLoans.com and ask for Shannon Young.
NMLS number 2270146.
Orthopedic pain and injury deserves effective treatment options now, so you feel better fast. Whether you have joint pain that won't subside or an urgent orthopedic injury, we are the specialists to get you back on your feet. And there's only one thing better than fast care: expert care. We believe you deserve both. TOC, only experts. Learn more at teamtoc.com.
Someone who thought texting was a better idea than stopping for a traffic light slams into your rear bumper. Now your back is injured and you've got to be at work and rehab all without a car. I'm Dana Brooks of Basic Brooks Law Offices, and we hear stories like this every day. You shouldn't pay for someone else's mistake. Call us at 850-777-7777 and we'll make sure you come back stronger.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks, we fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn at Finn Chiropractic. In Florida, we have hurricanes, and we can predict these storms, just like we can predict your health. The early warning signs of a bad health storm include neck pain, back pains, headaches. Before it turns into a catastrophic Cat 5, get in to let us get to the cause of your problem at Finn Chiropractic. Go to finnchiro.com for our online special at FENNCHIRO.com. That's Finn Chiropractic, FENNCHIRO.com, because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Syracuse has never won in Doak Campbell Stadium. It's the way it should be.
Ooh, there was a trying moment in the last 10 years where we had to
a couple of years ago, we had to kick the field goal.
And
Jordan brought him back.
did we have to wait for them to kick one that they missed too? It was something like that. There were 2 kicks in the last couple of minutes, but we made ours.
Yeah, no, let's not start a streak here. Nothing new. Let's just keep it rolling. I would really quickly just say that no probables. We'll do it, though. I'll look ahead to the weekend, but it's crazy to think the teams, again, with the 5 best records in baseball are out. None of them really came close to advancing at all. Again, as a group, Atlanta, 104 wins. Baltimore, 101. Los Angeles, 100. Tampa Bay, 99. Milwaukee, 92. Combined 1-13. Outscored 82-31. Those teams were out-homered 31-8.
Oh, wow.
All 3 National League division winners gone. 2 of the 3 American League division winners gone. Yeah, that's a toughie.
That was a very Scott Hansen setup at the end there, red zone.
What, gone?
The undefeated Eagles lost.
Yeah.
The undefeated 49ers lost.
Yeah. It's crazy. So you go back, and I mentioned this before. There's a lot of talk about why is this happening, what should baseball do, and all this other stuff. And really, there have been lots of moments of mayhem in the past that we've forgotten about. From the dawn of the American League in 1901 until 1968, baseball was divided into 2 leagues. So much of that time, there were other leagues. Obviously, you go back, there's the Negro leagues, other leagues all around the world, all around the United States, but those were the 2 under MLB, right? Seasons were 154 games until 1961, then 162 games after that. Team with the best record in each league, they'd play in the World Series. That's it, that's all. That was the end. That's how it went. In the 60s, a lot of mayhem. Braves moved to Atlanta from Milwaukee. We remember that. Kansas City Athletics moved to Oakland. Old Senators moved to Minnesota. Washington Senators were founded, became the Texas Rangers later on. California, Angels founded. Astros founded. Royals founded. Expos founded. Mets founded. Padres founded. Seattle Pilots were founded, became the Milwaukee Brewers. So there you go. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Did you know the Colorado Rockies were a hockey team?
I did not know that.
They became the New Jersey Devils.
How about that?
There you go.
The big decision came in 1969 to break up each league into 2 divisions and add an American League and a National League Championship Series. So up until that time, none of this existed. It was a different league in 1969 than it had been in 1960 altogether. By 94, 4 teams were added. Seattle Mariners, Toronto Blue Jays in 77, Florida Marlins, Colorado Rockies, aforementioned 93. Didn't seem like nearly as much upheaval as it was in, say, the 60s, but that was their new vision. Bud Selig and the other owners were going to expand this sucker. And that is where you get into another playoff round. This is all about money, obviously. This is when you're adding rounds and wildcard teams. But I will say that fundamentally this is flawed if you want the better teams, the teams who have the best records to win out. You should do 2 things, one of 2 things at the very least. You can reseed when it starts.
Yeah.
So the Braves probably should have been playing Arizona, for example, because I think the best 2 teams just played each other last night. That's it. That's all. That should have been a World Series. Now, from there, the other thing you could do is stop allowing 12 teams to make the damn playoffs.
Yeah.
You're guaranteeing problems when you have 12 teams after a 162-game season, which vets them thoroughly. 12 teams should not get in.
No, I think if you're going to do the 5 games, it should be all in one ballpark and consecutive days. That would be a better barometer over who is the deeper roster instead of 2 break for a day, 2 more break for a day, and another. It doesn't water down your weaknesses.
Yeah.
If you play 5 straight, then the better team will more likely, more reliably show who they are.
My mom doesn't care at all, does she?
I'd love to let's get a score pick for
Mom,
tomorrow.
Baseball is not my, I understand, according to Jeffrey tells me it's how you have to watch the people that don't have the ball, not the batter and all that, and I get it. But now I do like the World Series.
Yeah, and you watch.
I do watch.
You're a sportsman, if you will.
Yes,
Okay,
am.
on that note, I need a score prediction. You're going to the game tomorrow. We got 20 seconds. Florida State, Syracuse. Who you got?
Florida State.
By how much? Pick a score.
3 touchdowns. 41.
Oh, so almost like what we're doing here.
20.
Yeah, 41-20.
Yeah.
I like it. 41-20.
41-18.
By the way, the Astros, when they play the Rangers over the weekend, will take Verlander. Peace.